in those swing states certainly had a big impact on how the election turned out in the Electoral College. And so you fast forward to 2020, and you have this situation again with Bernie, who is who is obviously in favor of Joe Biden over Donald Trump. You have people who are who were strongly in favor of Elizabeth Warren, and the question is whether they're going to be enthusiastic about Joe Biden, especially with Joe Biden. Not just this recent Tara Reid allegations, which are starting to slowly slide out of the news hole of your local newspapers or your cable news networks. It's stopped being front and center as far as the Biden campaign, and no doubt it will never be completely out of play, because certainly Donald Trump and the Trump campaign will try to exhume it at every chance possible. But in each case, you have, if you're Joe Biden, does it make sense to pick Elizabeth Warren and try to hold that far left, try to build enthusiasm with that far left portion of the Democratic Party, or do you try really hard to grab that middle with someone like Kamala Harris, who's going to you're going to lose some enthusiasm from African American voters when it comes to her previous status as a prosecutor, and so it really is going to be intriguing to figure out what he decides to do and when he decides to do it. And we may not know the answer to that. He claimed he was going to do it quickly a month or so ago. He claimed, you're going to hear it soon. Well, maybe it doesn't make any sense to hear it soon. Maybe you need to build some momentum towards their virtual Democratic primary. Democratic convention. Maybe that makes more sense to wait and give that some kind of oomph, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to have a quote-unquote Zoom Democratic convention and really get that surge that you get. Each convention creates a surge in the polls. The Republicans insist that they're going to do a live convention. Democrats have said that they're looking at a virtual convention. We'll see how that plays out. We still got a couple months to worry about that. But Joe Biden really needs at some point to get out, somehow to get out, and whether that means actually physically getting out of his home, or whether that means just exploding on the scene somehow with big news. Obviously, the VP nominations, the one thing he can totally control, and get his campaign some real momentum. Even though some polls show him ahead, we're right in the middle of a pandemic. We don't know where we're going to be a few months down the road. I don't know what you can do, how much you can take out of poll results right now, because there's a lot of discontent people right now with the economy, obviously with the virus, and Joe Biden is immune to that part of this, so that's helping him in these polls. But he's not going to be immune forever, because eventually he's going to have to stand up for what he would have done, the areas where he was critical of President Trump that turned out to be some of the right things that President Trump did early on. It's going to be a tough go for him to argue COVID, and it's also going to be a tough go because you don't want to look like you're just going to try to exploit this crisis to get elected. He's going to walk an interesting tightrope over the next few months. We'll continue after this.
Jim Ross, delivering traffic updates 6 times an hour every morning during your commute.
There is a crash southbound after.
Expect more from WBAL News Radio 1090, and now available in Greater Baltimore on FM 101.5.
Your heating and cooling system is an important investment. It works all year, and a quality system will save at least 50% of your energy bill. Make your home much more comfortable and last 20 years. But to work right, it needs to be designed and installed right. Choosing the wrong contractor can be a big mistake. That's why you need to call A.J. Michaels, your carrier energy expert and the only EPA award-winning HVAC contractor in Maryland. I'm Michael Giangrandi, president of A.J. Michaels. We evaluate your home and design a system that's best suited for your home and budget. And we're certified to offer you up to $7,500 in Empower Maryland rebates, in addition to $1,650 in new carrier rebates. The best design, best pricing, best rebates, combined with our low-interest energy loan, makes the best investment. Turn to the experts, A.J. Michaels and Carrier. Find us at ajmichaels.com. That's ajmichaels.com.
Now a coronavirus status report on WBAL News Radio 1090, FM 101.5, and the WBAL mobile app.
Now the latest numbers as of 10 a.m. from the Maryland Department of Health. COVID-19 cases show an increase of 1,071, with a total of just under 45,500 statewide. There were 38 more confirmed deaths from the coronavirus in the last 24 hours, with a total now of 2,130. Governor Hogan announced that Marylanders will be able to take a self-administered COVID-19 test at Walmart supercenters in Cambridge, Frederick, and Fruitland, along with appointment-based testing at Rite Aids on Ritchie Highway and National Pike in the city, and at 17 CVS drive-through locations around the state at little to no cost. And once again, Baltimore's Department of Transportation is saying you should be aware of congestion around 3 different food distribution sites today until 2 p.m. That's at M&T Bank Stadium, Lot H, the Old Eastern High School Johns Hopkins Complex parking lot on 33rd Street, and the alternative campus of Baltimore Community College on Liberty Heights Avenue. Stay with WBAL News Radio 1090 and FM 101.5 for the latest coronavirus updates, and get more at WBAL.com, the WBAL app, and with WBAL TV 11.
Peter Schmuck.
WBAL.com and the WBAL app.
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
Well, that's what we were afraid of. That was the real Joe Biden right there. And the real Joe Biden will step in it once in a while, and that's just who he is. And again, this issue of the saying that anyone who's wavering, any African-American who's wavering, ain't black, is just one of those kind of things that Joe Biden says when he gets on a roll. It's not going to have any impact whatsoever on the black vote for Joe Biden. And we all know that. We all know we can pretty much predict right now what percentage of the African-American vote Joe Biden is going to get. It's going to be huge. And in our electoral system, with the Electoral College and the swing states, it is a huge thing. I mean, African Americans make up 12 to 14% of the population. So you might say, well, okay, so he's going to get, that 10% of the population that votes. He's going to get that. And him not getting that level of support would be disastrous for him. But there's not much doubt that he will get that level of support. 410-467-WBAL is the phone number. You talk, you can text. Got a note from the guy whose text I read before, which I read about half of it. It got a little carried away. You really are a schmuck. Read my entire text. Number 1, that's a very, very original thing to say. I've never heard that in my 60-some years on this planet, that I'm a real schmuck, okay? If you can't say something clever, then move on to something else. And also, if you want me to read your entire text, make it concise enough so it doesn't waste my time. All right? Again, 410-467-WBL is the phone number. Talking about Uncle Joe Biden, and I guess it's easy for me to say what he ought to do. In my opinion, what he ought to do is probably choose Kamala Harris. I don't think that will change the dynamic for his for the black community and the black vote. I really don't.